The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Well, here we are on a Monday morning. Butch Hubbard here with you, along with Bob Morgan, here on this Monday morning. It is the 10th day of June. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Murphy Builder Supply in downtown Jesup, on Northeast Broad Street, down from the Big Red Caboose, and also brought to you by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup on Cherry and Broad. And how you doing, Bob?
I'm good.
Doing good?
Yep.
Yes, sirree. You spent some time out in the sun this weekend?
Yeah, I went to the ball tournament Saturday. They had a bunch of ball tournaments out there Friday and Saturday. So Saturday.
Did you miss the rain there on Saturday? It come down belly washer on Saturday.
It came late. All the most of the championship games got rained out. They were scheduled for around 6:30, 7 o'clock, but all those got washed out. So there were a lot of games played on Friday and Saturday. So, a lot of good baseball. Get ready for the district. Girls softball teams are out there as well. So girls softball teams head to Liberty this week, and boys baseball is hosted right here at Bill Morse Park and Ben Park Complex. So
okay, so
we'll be broadcasting the midget games this weekend.
Okay, we start Friday with our broadcast of the midget district games here at Recreation Park, right?
Won't be able to do anything Saturday because it's Father's Day weekend, so I'm headed out to see my father this Saturday, but be back Monday and Tuesday for the championship and semifinal games. So that's the schedule: Friday, Monday, Tuesday.
Friday, Monday, Tuesday. And so that'll be the midgets all 3 days?
Midgets, yeah.
Okay.
As long as they stay in it. If they get knocked out, we'll
look at the
do
juniors?
somebody else.
Okay, or mites. Okay. People say, why do y'all do the midgets? Well, we do the midgets because they're right in the middle. You got the mites, the midgets, and the juniors.
It's considered Little League Baseball. We've just been doing that for 30 years.
Yeah, so we do the midgets, and then if they get knocked out, we have the option of doing junior games or the mites games. We've just been doing the midgets for eons, so it's tradition.
That's right. It's a tradition.
It's a tradition, like no other.
It's a good league.
Okay. And that'll begin this coming weekend. And so what's going on with this animal control situation here in Jesup and Wayne County? I know you mentioned it on your news, but let's just kind of talk about it in depth here on the Butch and Bob Show.
Well, apparently 6 months ago, unknowns to anybody, the city indicated they wanted to get out of providing animal control to the county, according to the county. This came at the call meeting. Was
the city manager to the county administrator, or was this board to board, or what?
They didn't really give any names. They just said that they had a conversation, and they were told that there's conflicting statistics on who's covering what. The city's stats and the county stats, or like I said in my newscast, they're not even the same area code.
Statistics can be altered to show anything that you wanted to show, Bob, or changed, or looked at in a different way.
The city claims that 61% of the calls are in the county. The county says otherwise, but it's just, it all goes back to, years ago, the city and county came together and they had all these agreements where the city's going to handle animal control, the county's going to do 911. I mean,
correct.
They got all these contracts that are agreements.
They worked out years ago.
That all supposed to be kumbaya, we're all going to work together. Well, apparently that's all gone astray.
Different boards, different people, different personalities.
So, like I said, it was news to me that they had this conversation 6 months ago, but that's what they said at the call meeting, and the chairman was talking about doing their own animal control.
When they had the call meeting, they didn't have 3 or more board members because that would have had to be made public to the press, right?
No, this was the call meeting they had to discuss it.
Okay.
This was a call meeting to discuss animal control
by the
county.
There?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay.
That's what we had. That's what we've been reporting
6 months ago.
No, we weren't there 6 months ago.
That's what I'm talking about. Did they have something 6 months ago, or they just happened to?
Apparently, they met
casually
somewhere.
Talk about it.
I don't know where that.
You couldn't have 3 or more of them meet together.
That was news to me. I never heard about anybody saying they're going to bail on the contract. So
All right.
That's what they're saying. The county's claiming that the city's going to bail on the contract where they provide animal control for the county.
Right.
So if the county's saying if they do that, then what do they do? But they're talking about they're going to have to go out and get their own pound and own animal control division, which is going to cost close to $250,000, which I don't think the county had any money. So I don't know where they're getting $250,000 to do it. So the obvious question at the meeting, after listening for an hour and a half of them yelling and screaming or just talking about
All this over controlling animals.
I said, hello, can the city be here? Can you have a meeting between the city? Why can't y'all get together and work it out?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if the problem if the problem
Reasonable question.
problem is there's nobody doing it on the weekends, why would you hire somebody to do it on the weekends?
Well, the county could hire people on the weekends, and the city could run it during the week. Could that be it?
But the county didn't want to have a meeting with the city and talk to the mayor of the Jesup. He said he's been trying to get the meeting for 6 months, and they don't want to meet. So it makes no sense to me. Seems like an easy issue to be resolved, but for some reason the two sides don't want to get together and have a discussion, which is where the city and the county is on everything right now. They're like oil and water. They don't get it. Apparently our city.
Why are we back to the point now where it's oil and water when for a while there it was water and water?
Well, we're not there.
Okay.
It's just sad. Just covering both boards, the city and county is like oil and water right now. They don't get along. They can't even meet on a simple issue of animal control. Are you kidding me? How hard is it to, it's not that hard of an issue.
Okay.
Hire a part-time employee to do the weekend animal control.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like a simple solution.
Yeah. And,
but you can't solve anything if the two sides
maybe the
don't
county
get
can
together.
help chip in for to expand maybe the pound, and then also help.
They're sitting in this call meeting talking about if the city bails, can they go legally, or they go to court? I mean, it's just crazy. I asked Andy Beaver, they were talking about that service agreement. I said, well, which contract holds water? He says they both hold water. Because apparently I didn't know there was that contract between the city and county where the city, all they have to do if they don't want to do animal control for the county, can send a 30-day notice, and then they can stop doing animal control for the county. Which I didn't know that.
Well, whatever needs to be done for the betterment of all the citizens of Wayne County.
Well, you think the two sides could just have a meeting and work it out and resolve it in 5 minutes? It's not that big of an issue.
Well, folks, if you have any questions or comments here for us on the
sit
world,
there for an hour and a half and listen to the county talk about this, it's like, hello, where's the city?
Where's the city?
Why can't the city be here?
Yeah.
Can't we get this resolved in 5 minutes?
You know, if you're trying to work things out with the city, you seem like you'd like to have them there.
You're right. You think
right?
that
Do you think there's some people who just...
You think that would be the logical thing to do? Common sense says meet and work it out.
You think there's people trying to think they know it all and want to do it themselves?
I don't know.
You don't know? Or they just don't want to work with other folks?
I'm just telling you right now, the city and county are not on the same page on anything. That's a fact.
Well, here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, you can always call in questions and comments at our, not call in, but text in, because we can't answer the phone. We're talking on the radio. You can text us at 912-427-3711. Our main studio and business line is text-enabled, so you can text it at any time at 912-427-3711. So, Bob, let's say that you're the mediator, okay? You're the mediator, Bob. You got the county board. You got the city board, you got the mayor, you got the county administrator. You're sitting in a big room, and you are the mediator, Bob. How would you work this out?
It's simple. The problem is no one's handling animal control on weekends. The two officers work Monday through Friday. I'm hiring a part-time employee to do animal control on the weekends, period.
So the two guys that work for animal control for the city of Jesup,
they work Monday through Friday.
They go outside the city limits lines and take care of animal control anywhere in the county. Is that correct?
Monday through Friday.
Even though the county don't pitch in a dime.
The city handles animal control.
The city handles it all based on that agreement that was done years ago.
The city has the pound. The city has the two officers. The city handles, just like the county handles 911.
Oh.
They made all these agreements.
They made these agreements years ago. We'll handle animal control. You handle 911. We'll do this. You do that.
Together. We're all saving money.
Yeah, we're all saving money because we're combining services together.
But the problem now is no one's handling on the weekends. The commissioners are saying they're getting these weekend calls where people have animal control. But like I said, if a vicious dog's in your yard and you call, somebody's showing up. It may not be the animal control.
Yep.
But Mike Lane stayed at the county meeting. He was there to talk about tourism, get that tourism agreement. The commissioner, Ralph Hickox, asked him point blank, if there's an emergency call on the weekends, does the animal control officer respond? And Mike Lane says, yes, they respond.
If it's an emergency.
If it's an emergency.
Okay.
But they just don't go out on a nuisance call or whatever.
Right. So if you've got an alligator in your front yard or in your pool, they'll come out.
Then they made
that DNR?
Then this call meeting, the county made a big issue about, well, they have a vicious dog incident. It goes to the probate judge, and there's a lot of county costs there. So we went down to find out from the probate judge how many of those calls. Less than 10 in 3 years.
Less than 10 in 3 years.
So it's not that big of an issue.
Okay. So really it comes down to we need to get the county together, the city together, and say, all right, it's the weekends. Let's hire a part-time person for the weekends.
How do we handle animal control on the weekends?
And hire a part-time person.
Hire somebody.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. Why spend $250,000 on a pound that you don't need when they already got a pound?
I don't know, Bob.
It was just
frustrating. Minds want to know.
I mean, it's frustrating to sit at an hour and a half meeting and listen to this foolishness, and you ask the simple question, why isn't the city here to get this resolved? And they look at you like, oh, we don't want to meet with the city. Then you call the mayor of Jesup, and he says, we've been trying to meet for 6 months, and they don't want to meet. And you're going, well, why?
Okay, someone just texted in a comment on the animal control situation here. This is a text, folks. Someone texted this into us at 912-427-3711. They said on this text, or give the two existing employees different days off. One gets Friday and Saturday off. The other gets Sunday and Monday. No extra money spent, and we have 7 days a week coverage. Well, that's could be a possibility there. The question is, I would like to ask the folks who work at Animal Control, do you need two people working together, or do these people go out on, do the Animal Control people go out on separate calls? If one person can handle all that, then maybe that's it. But right now, the Animal Control people get 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday, just not 1 day a week, right?
I don't know for a fact, but I'm just speculating that for the entire county, 2 people is probably understaffed. I would think.
Yeah, but that's the reason why.
I've never been with them on a daily basis, but I'm sure there's a bunch of calls.
I'm sure there is, because you see them around, and that's the reason why in the city and the county, if you got a dog outside, that dog's got to be chained up, inside, or pinned up, city and county, to cut down on these problems out there. So just letting folks know, if you got a dog wandering around, they can come pick it up anywhere in the county. And then also, if you've got it pinned up or chained up, I hate to see them on chains, but sometimes you can't help that. It can be a zip line or something. It cuts down on unwanted puppies. It
just doesn't seem to be that big of an issue. It seems like it can be resolved in 5-minute conversation, but apparently it's not been resolved, and they're still discussing. So, but since the call,
there's got to be some underlying factors,
meeting,
Bob.
There's never been no one else has discussed it. The county has met twice since the call meeting. Haven't even discussed it. The city had the full city meeting. No one discussed it.
There's got to be some underlying factors here, Bob. I mean, something that is so common sense to be able to fix. There's got to be some underlying issues here that's causing these two boards not to come to an agreement on something that, according to what you're saying here, is so simple. Hire a part-time person on the weekend, paid for by the county, and everything gets on.
Seems like a simple solution to me.
Yeah. And it's such a shame that we have this problem, but every county in the country has this problem with dogs running around. I know that when I lived in Odom, there was a bunch of feral cats in the woods behind me out there because you could hear them all the doggone time, and those are hard to catch right there. But mainly it's the dogs, because they can become a nuisance of biting and hurting people and things of that sort. But I'm glad that we got an active animal refuge, our foundation here, ARF here, to try to say, all right, we've worked with vets. You can get your dog or cat spayed or neutered for a very low price.
Somebody I miss on the Butch and Bob Show. They used to come in on a regular basis. I haven't seen them in ages. Where are they at?
Who?
ARF. They used to come in all the time, talking about.
Yeah, they'd come on and talk about where they were going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them come back.
Yeah, we'd like to see ARF come back. ARF, if you're listening out there, come back, give us a call, and we'll put you on the Butch and Bob Show.
Apparently, if they only hold these animals for a certain amount of time at the pond before they euthanize the animals. And I know ARF is trying their best to find these animals homes, but apparently there's a certain amount of time that an animal will stay at the pond, and
then ARF gets them.
If ARF doesn't find them, they euthanize the animals. So
yeah, ARF finds.
Be interested what the statistics are on that, on how many animals are being euthanized here in Wayne County.
ARF found, they find people like foster homes, where the dog or cat will stay there for X amount of time period, and they'll continue to have their promote that dog or cat for adoption. And they have that dog or cat ready for adoption. I mean, it's been checked out by the vet. It's been wormed. It's been rabies. Anything that dog or cat needs has been spayed or neutered. And so that dog or cat is ready to go. You don't have to do nothing. I think it's $100. Of course, that's a lot cheaper than having to all have that done if you just picked up a dog or cat somewhere. Somebody just texted in, the county and city have to get together. There has to be someone in charge to make this happen. Well, there's not. You've got two different entities with two different boards.
Like I said, no meeting plan, no discussions between the two, just unless it's all behind the scenes. That's what's frustrating. Like I said, when the county had that call meeting and said for this, they started talking about how the city indicated they were trying to bail from animal control. I raised my hand and said, when did this happen? I've been to every city and county meeting, haven't heard it's one discussion. Oh, this happened 6 months ago when we met. I guess they met. I don't know when they met.
I don't know.
They didn't meet in a public meeting to discuss it.
There's 3 or more board members there. They have to publicize it. Okay.
But that was news to us.
News to us. All right. Here's another text message. Now, I'll try to emphasize this because a lot of times people say, well, you see or heard what Butch and Bob said? No, this is a text message. That's the reason why I keep emphasizing that. This is people who have text in. Someone has texted in, why spend $300,000? Wow, I didn't know it was that much. Why spend $300,000 of taxpayers' money on a new ambulance building when you're staying rent-free in a city building? Where's good stewardship of taxpayer money? Childish games at taxpayers' expense. Is it $300,000 to build this new ambulance building out here on Henson Mosley Road?
I'm not sure what the exact total is, but that I've heard that discussion.
I talked to the county commissioner about this, and they were totally unaware that thing was going to be built. It wasn't approved by the board. It just started up from the ground, and they're sitting there saying, what? Like, of course, this was from several years ago. We're not talking about current now. We're talking about a few years ago. So we ain't blame anybody right now.
I think that's part of the personnel.
That was the personnel
that's been discussed for an hour and a half, and now they're going to discuss it again.
Well, the personnel who that started this is no longer here, Bob. He's the one who started this. He's not here anymore. He's in retirement.
But there's a policy in place. You can't spend more than $10,000 with board approval, and apparently that's not being adhered to. So that's what they had an hour and a half executive session for, and they're picking up again today, what I've been told. So,
okay.
So we'll see if anything transpires from that. But that's where a lot of it started, that building that's just sitting there. I don't even think
they're still working on it. They've had another building behind it, and they're working on it right now. Okay. Someone just texted in. This is a text, folks, okay? This is a quote from somebody famous. This person just texted in. This is a text. This is a quote from somebody famous. They're putting on here. There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. The person that made that quote, Ronald Reagan. Best president in modern history.
Just like I said, to me, this animal control, they're making a mountain out of a molehill. It doesn't seem like it's that big of an issue to get resolved. I mean, I don't understand why one 10-minute meeting can't resolve it, but apparently they don't want to get together and meet and resolve it. That's just frustrating. I mean, if you live in the city or the county and you're watching this, you got two governing bodies who in years past have, like I said, all these agreements have been worked out, all these great deals have been worked out. The city's going to do this, the county's going to do this. We're going to save money, and they have the maintenance shop where they, work on both vehicles. Say,
right.
Where'd all that conversation?
Where'd all
that go to?
Different boards, different people in charge.
You can't even get together and meet on animal control. Are you kidding me? It's embarrassing. That's what it is. That's the word that DB's use. It's embarrassing.
Embarrassing, huh?
It's embarrassing. Plumb embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Okay.
To sit there for an hour and a half and listen to that conversation, ask the question, where's the city? Oh, we don't want to meet with the city. Why? You got the agreement with the city. Mm-hmm. To get it resolved, you're going to have to meet.
Yeah. Now, you think that the city manager and the county administrator could meet together and say, all right, we got this problem. What are some of the options we have? They talk about it, and either they come to an agreement or they come up with a couple of things that they would like they've agreed upon, and present it to their boards and say, listen, this is what we've worked out. Here are what we think is the best way of working it out. Or here are 2 or 3 different ways that we think are the best way of working out, and let the boards go from there. But you think it would be done on a management level, and then ideas and suggestions made to the boards so the boards can vote on it.
Oil and water.
Okay. Okay, oil and water. Well,
You just hit the nail on the head.
I just hit the nail on the head.
That's
All right.
the problem.
Okay. All right. Well, remember now, you can text in questions or comments at 912-427-3711, 912-427-3711. And so the county is meeting behind closed door, discussing personnel situations, and no action has been taken on whatever they're talking about, if any is going to happen at all, right?
Well, they met for an hour and a half, came back and called another executive session to pick it back up again today, but they've added 2 items to the agenda, so the executive session will take place after they discuss Lake Grace and providing garbage pickup for
They
churches.
wanted to put a full-time officer out at Lake Grace? Do we need a full-time officer out at Lake Grace?
Apparently, there's been somebody out there the whole time, but
I know
don't think it's been an officer.
Yeah,
Right, but
yeah,
now,
he just kind of oversees it.
that discussion I heard at the last meeting was they want to put a full-time officer out there 24/7.
Do you need a full-time officer at Lake Grace?
According to the commissioner that brought it up, Kevin McCreary, they do. They said there's a lot of vandalism that goes on out there, and a lot, they need somebody out there 24/7. So
They need a good neighborhood watch program out there, like some of the neighborhoods in the city of Jesup have.
So that's on the agenda again today, to discuss what they're going to do. They talked to John Carter about having a full-time law enforcement officer out there. Apparently, I don't know how they're going to work it out. Apparently, there's a house out there.
There's a house, yeah. There's like a superintendent type of house out there.
But that's on the agenda for today, along with the garbage discussion for churches.
Now, what's the garbage discussion for churches? Do you know?
I really don't.
You don't. It's some situation where churches having problems with
it. It just says a discussion of garbage pickup for churches. That's the second item on the agenda. First time's discussion
They don't
about
put
Lake Grace.
their bins out there next to the road like the rest of us?
I thought they did.
I don't know. All right. Okay. All right. Bob will find out
Be
tonight.
interested.
All right, another person just texted in. They text us in here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO FM in Jesup. Someone texted in. Someone says, must be a problem. We need to find out what the problem between the city and the county is. There is definitely a breakdown somewhere. Yep. It seems to be that way, Bob. Is that right?
If you can't meet on animal control issue, a simple issue like this, it's not that big of an issue.
Right.
The problem is they need coverage on the weekend. While they can't resolve it in 5 minutes.
Well, no, it can't be 5 minutes. Then you got to come up and create a position, and you got to agree on the salary, and then you got the responsibilities and duties, and it's going to take a little bit more than that. But you could say the beginning of the solution could begin with just, all right, let's hire a part-time person, come up with the details there, County Administrator.
It's a lot less than $250,000 to open up your own animal control.
I know. That's a lot of work there.
Why would you even be thinking that way?
I don't know, Bob.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I said it's just mind-boggling to sit there and listen to this foolishness and say, why can't the city be here for the discussion and get it resolved? But you can't get no answer.
I just like that comment right there. What Ronald Reagan said: there is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. And sometimes a person wants the credit.
That person never lived in Jesup.
Oh, I don't know.
I said that person made that quote, never lived in Jesup.
Well, that's a good quote. That's a very good quote. There's no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. Ronald Reagan.
But he never lived in Wayne County.
Well, it's a true comment, but
you're missing my point. It doesn't happen in Wayne County.
Okay, so it doesn't happen in Wayne County. It did at one time. It did at one time, several years ago, when we came to all these agreements, right, Bob? But things have changed, according to what you're saying.
Just saying their working relationship's not where you would hope it would be.
Well, for the betterment of the citizens of Wayne County who go to the ballot boxes and vote, they better do it. We saw what happened last year when people get really upset about issues. So I need to work it out. All right, let's see here. Okay, that's all the text messages we have so far. 912-427-3711 is where you can text in questions or comments or anything like that. Okay? And so you got the county meeting that you're going to. Is the city meeting anytime soon?
The school board meets tomorrow. They got a work session.
All right. Anything major going on in the school system now that school's out for the summer, mainly?
Just the main issue is the athletic budget is going to be presented. And then they got the band boosters got a request. I'm not sure what the request is, but
all right.
They got several items on there. They got a busy off season. They're trying to get all these projects underway for the school board. And I said, hopefully the James E. Bacon project gets underway shortly.
Yeah, they're going to start on that this summer? They're going to start with the remodeling or what?
I think they're going to do it. But the way they got it scheduled is they're going to be doing work where school's going on, apparently because they want all their money they're entitled to from the state before they start that project.
Right,
so
right.
They can't start it at a certain time. So
Okay, yeah. That's the thing about it is that's going to be remodeled as school's in session over the next
I think the last meeting,
however long.
the superintendent said he'd begin with the board either in late June or early July and start that bid process.
Okay.
But that'll be a nice renovation project.
That will be very nice. Very nice. It'll modernize the school there. It'll get that traffic off of Orange Street where people have backed up, picking up kids and stuff like that. It'll be safer, with limited entrance in it like the rest of the schools around here. And it'll be updated and very nice for the students there. Now, the T-Splosh situation is still going on. We got the bridge across the railroad tracks there at 169. And they're going to be meeting again to discuss where the next project is going to be. Is that right?
They've got another vote on T-Splosh coming up. I'm not sure when the vote is, but they're going to discuss the projects that they want to use that funding for.
Now, the T-Splosh was a regional thing. That means all the counties still have to vote for it, right?
Well, like I said, we didn't vote for it.
We didn't vote for it.
But our region voted for it.
Our region voted
we
for it.
We benefited for it. We got $20 million on the overpass at 169 from that T-Splosh. Right. So it is an important aspect. So they're trying to impress upon the people of Wayne County how important that vote is coming up, that they need to vote for it this time because we benefit from it.
Okay, so, but we're going to have to be voting with the rest of the counties that are in our region. Now, see, we were only about one of 3 or 4 regions that actually voted for it statewide.
We voted against it.
No, I'm talking about the region. Yeah, our county voted against it, but the region itself voted for it, and we benefited from it with the building of the bypass over the railroad tracks there at 169. But if I remember correctly, several years ago, there was only about 3, and I don't know how they decided on what counties would vote together. State legislature did that, I guess. And the counties that were involved with voted for it totally with the total votes, even though Wayne Countyans voted against it in terms of the total number of votes. But we did benefit from it. And so I guess the whole region has to vote for it again if we're going to continue on with the T-Splosh. And it would be interesting to see what counties they are. How can the county name an overpass in the city of Jesup? Is the overpass going over Highway 69? Is that county or city there? Thought that was county.
I think that's county too.
Yeah, that's got to be county if they're the ones that voted for it. But I'm not positive. But I don't know where the city limit ends going down Pine Street. But it would have to be in the county if the county is the one that voted on it. I know that the overpass going over Pine Street was actually approved through a state representative through the state legislature years ago. That's how that one was named.
I think you still got to go to the state legislature, but I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Do I?
I think the county's still going to have to go to the state legislature, but I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No,
the county voted to name it, and that was unanimous vote. I think the process you still have to get the legislature to approve that, but that won't. I mean, that's just a formality. Yeah. I mean, the county commissioners call the legislature, say we want this approved. It'll be approved.
Well, maybe it says note. Someone says the city limit ends at the Sunset in 169. I don't know all the details on that. It could be the fact that since the county is the one who benefit from the T-Splosh funds, instead of just one, perhaps that's the reason why they voted on it. Okay, I don't know. Call your local. Call your county commissioner. Yeah, there's got to be a reason there. because you didn't hear anything from the city or anything like that. It could be the fact that the county's the one who benefited from the T-Splosh, and they named it after a person it deserves to be named after. He's the one that really got the overpass, Billy did, for the Pine Street. He's the one who worked hard on that, got that approved years ago, which is very well needed because through downtown Jesup, you couldn't get across railroad tracks. And he got behind that and pushed it, and we got that overpass on Pine Street that was built in the 80s sometimes. While I moved away, moved away in 79, moved back in 92. And that's a great thing. I think it's a great honor and a great thing they did, naming that overpass on Highway 169 after a great Wayne County citizen, Billy Clanton, who's done so much for this community. So I think it was a great thing the county did. Billy's name deserves to be on that overpass. So for all he's done for the community and the county for so many years, I'm looking forward to the day when we're off there and see his name up there. In addition to that, he's a good family friend. Let's see here. Yeah, someone said the city should have been counted. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Somebody just texted in that the city should have been consulted. I don't know if the city was consulted or not. I have no idea of the details behind that. The only thing I can think of is the fact that if the funds came into the county as a T-Splosh, that's the reason why they did it. I don't know, Bob. And I don't think it's a big deal. I think the county city would have gone right along with it.
I just remember it being a county project.
Yeah, it was a county project. It's county road, county maintained, county project.
County project. So.
Yeah. So I think it's a great thing that the county did. All right, any other thing to talk about this morning? We've talked about several local subjects of interest to the citizens of Wayne County.
Be interested in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, see if Kevin Durant plays. They said he practiced Sunday, but, they had some great stats out there. When Kevin Durant plays, they're like 9-1. When he doesn't play, they're 1-4. So
Curry's not getting back in, is he?
Curry's there.
Curry's there. It's Durant that's out.
Kevin Durant.
Okay, Durant that's out. Curry's still playing. Okay.
Durant's the one they need. So we'll see if he plays tonight or not. But like I said, Toronto's one game away from closing it out. They're playing at home. So
the passing of the torch, Bob.
It'll be interesting to see.
End of a dynasty. Coming to an end before our eyes.
I still got faith in the Warriors. Not giving up on Curry and Thompson just yet.
Okay.
Maybe Kevin Durant can limp out there like Willis Reed and help out a little bit.
Well, Bob, we appreciate your insight this morning on the county and city situation, okay?
I just hope they get together.
All right. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup, the Women's Health Center on Cherry at Broad Street, and by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.